What is going on, everybody, in Wrestling Review Society Facebook page, YouTube page, and wherever you happen to be watching tonight? Thank you so much for setting aside a few moments of your time on this Thursday evening to join us live in the War Room as me and a few of my good friends break down AEW Full Gear and talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling today. Guys, I hope you like the new intro video. I am very happy to announce that the War Room Podcast Wrestling Review Society YouTube channel is now monetized. I had to get rid of the copyrighted stuff, but a huge shout out and thank you to Steven Hammer, who made that original intro video for me. It served me well over the last year, and I cannot thank him enough for all the hard work he's put in and everything he's done for me. So Steven Hammer, if you're watching, bud, thank you so much for everything that you've done. Guys, it has been an absolute crazy week. We've seen it on Facebook, we've seen it on TV, we've seen it on YouTube. Politics has taken over the world, but that is not going to take over this show tonight. We are going to keep it all about wrestling all the time, as always, here in Wrestling Review Society in the War Room. So if you want to get your fill of politics, this ain't the place, but we are going to bring you everything wrestling related. Guys, I have three very special people joining me tonight, but before I get to my guests, I just want to take a quick chance and plug our amazing sponsors. First of which being A-Rock Designs. A-Rock Designs is a custom business that makes all those cool cups that you guys see floating around, like this American flag cup she made me. She does cups, hats, shirts, hoodies, keychains, just about anything you need, guys. So if you want to place any custom orders, make sure you go to A-Rock Designs on Facebook, spelled that way at the bottom of the screen, and place your orders with Ashley Rodriguez. If you're having any trouble finding it, just hit me up and I'll point you in the right direction. Also, guys, WASF Championship Belts. WASF Championship Belts on Facebook is one of the premier belt makers in the world. If you are looking to start your belt collection or add to your belt collection, make sure you go to WASF Championship Belts. We have a very reasonable payment plan for any budget, and coming up on Black Friday, guys. So starting on Black Friday, going to the following Sunday, a 3-day sale, all championship belts, 4mm zinc or more, will be 30% off. And all you have to do to lock in that price, guys, is send your deposit. You don't have to pay for the full title. You just have to make a deposit to lock in that price. So on Black Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all championship belts will be 30% off. Another shout out to one of our sister companies is Real Pro Wrestling. Real Pro Wrestling is now partnered with Wrestling Review Society. You'll see a lot of collaborations coming up with myself and them in the near future. You'll also see me on commentary for a lot of their live shows. Make sure you go to Real Pro Wrestling on YouTube and give them a sub, guys. I would really appreciate it. Last thing before I bring my guests on, guys, our Storefront Tier shop. So if you go to storefronttier.com and search Wrestling Review Society, you will see a lot of our amazing merch available in hoodies, t-shirts, kid shirts, women's shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve. It does not matter. We even have face masks, guys. You'll see designs like our Halloween designs. They are going to be pulled very soon, so get yours while you can. We have the Halloween Horseman shirt, the Chucky hoodie, Nightmare Before Christmas, The Family Affair, the list goes on, guys. The War Room, the Wrestling and Chill, and the one I'm wearing right now, the Wrestle Hub. You can get all those in any design you want. Lastly, the reason all of you are here tonight. We are celebrating our 1,000 mark on YouTube. We will have a massive giveaway tonight at some point in the show where one lucky winner will win a care pack from A-Rock Designs, including a cup, coasters, pop socket, and a few other cool things that she's thrown in. You'll receive 2 shirts from our Storefront Tier shop. You'll receive 2 hoodies from our Storefront Tier shop, and you'll receive 2 free championship belts. All that goes to one lucky person tonight. Now, with all that said, with all the formalities out of the way, well, we've already got 66 comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. With all that said and all that out of the way, let me get to my guest. First of which, making his War Room return, one of the pioneers of the TikTok wrestling world, the founder of TTWF and all these promo battles you guys are enjoying. He's become a really good friend of mine and a really good person to talk to. Ladies and gentlemen, the Macho Fan, Sandy Ravage. Sandy, what's up, bud?
What is up, Kevin? I am glad to be back again. Topping hugs, I think, or tying hugs at least for this time. But I gotta give him a shout out still.
I think you're tying him, man. And you know what? We're gonna break down AEW Full Gear tonight, and it's a stacked card.
I got some hot takes. Let's bring it.
Guys, I see all of you are watching on YouTube right now. Do me a favor, take 2 seconds, hit that thumbs up button, let us know you're enjoying the show. It really goes a long way now that the YouTube channel is monetized. Every like counts, every comment counts, every view counts. So guys, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, and let me get to our second guest. This guy is kind of dipping his toe into the promo game on TikTok. He's been a really good friend of mine. We've had really good conversations. Apparently he's a pretty good cook too. He knows how to throw it down on the grill, so might need to hit him up for some recipes and some taste tests, because you know I'm a fat guy. I love my food. With that being said, guys, welcome DJ Barbecue to the show. DJ, what's up, man?
How you guys doing? Thank you for having me on here.
Oh, dude, thank you so much for being here. Now, I'm really excited to announce this one because no one's going to see it coming. I have wanted this person on the podcast for a very long time. We kind of got in touch over the last couple days, asked them to come on the podcast. They agreed. And ladies and gentlemen, there's no introduction I can give this person that's going to do it justice. All I'm going to say is that wrestling TikTok community you see, that WWE TT fam that has, I don't know, 148 million videos attached to it. You can thank this person for it. Ladies and gentlemen, Susie Q is joining us in the War Room. Susie, what is up?
Hey, guys. I am so honored to be here tonight. I'm really freaking excited. I'm nervous, but thank you, Kevin.
Hey, we're happy to have you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're able to make this work. I know you had to work today, so thanks for putting in some overtime and joining three people who really have nothing else better to do.
I actually told my job, I was like, I need to leave at 4:45. I'm leaving to make this happen.
Very nice. Gotta have your priorities straight.
So there's nothing ever happening anyway, so.
So guys, we have a very stacked card to get into with AEW. Before we start breaking down all the matches that we're going to be getting into, let's go ahead and see some of these comments from the viewers. Wow, everybody's just flooding the comment. We got a lot of Susie fans here.
Oh yeah.
Hey, James, this is not Christian Mingle. This is not Farmers Only. Well, I guess everybody else is just like non-existent at this point.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Bow down.
Yep. All hail the queen.
So, guys, we are going to get into AEW Full Gear, and we have I think we have a giveaway going on tonight.
We sure
I think.
Tell us about that giveaway, Kevin.
I think we're going to make somebody's night. You know, they're going to win a lot of really cool stuff, and this is just my way of saying thank you to everybody who is helping me do what I want to do for a living, and this is the first milestone, and I can't thank everybody enough. But we'll get into the giveaway just a little bit later. Our honorary guest, Susie, will be announcing the winner momentarily throughout the podcast. So let's go ahead and get into AEW. I feel like this is going to be one of their better cards. They definitely have the potential to put on a hell of a show. We've come to expect these all-out wars for an AEW pay-per-view. We have been let down. I would say at All Out was kind of a dumpster fire. But what are your guys' feelings going into AEW Full Gear before we get into all these matches? Sandy, let's start with you.
I think that AEW is just getting better every week leading up to here. Like all the stories that they're trying to tell are coming full circle finally. They got the full year mark under their belt now. I agree there was a lot of like big mishaps for All Out, and I think they're trying to make up for that. And so I think we're getting the best of most of these superstars right now, and I'm so excited to see what this card is going to bring. I think it's going to be the highlight of the year.
Piers, you stop that right now. You stop that right now. So, Susie, what are your thoughts going into Full Gear and how the card is played out, and what are you excited to see out of what match stands out to you out of all the ones that are listed so far?
So, as of right now, I have kind of fallen behind a little bit just because I have been dealing with so much with everything.
For shame.
I know. So I've kind of been keeping up on what you guys are posting on TikTok and trying to keep up that way because I have not been able to actually tune in and watch AEW live. I'm sorry.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because you bring up TikTok, and like I said, there are a few pioneers in the wrestling world on TikTok. Few people that have made massive impacts. Sandy, you're one of them with the TTWF and the promo battles. You've really kind of led the charge with that. But Susie, you did this thing and made your own hashtag, WWETT fam, to kind of let all the wrestling fans come together and share their wrestling content. Did you ever in a million years think you'd be sitting here at a 1 million point, like 1.87 million videos?
Honestly, no. Because I was afraid to actually express how much I love wrestling because I was teased for it when I was younger. So to come out, where everyone around the world can see it, it was kind of really hard because it's like, okay, am I going to get teased again or am I just going to get more hate? But, when I posted my first video and how popular it had got, I was shocked. And then I just continued it, and I have met a lot of amazing people along the way, and I'm so thankful that I started that hashtag, and also everything about it is amazing.
I think I speak for everybody on this screen and everybody in the comment section. We're really glad you made it too, and it's kind of taken a life of its own. And I know using that hashtag is how I met a lot of the friends that I have now. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for doing that. I think DJ is frozen. DJ, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, DJ, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go ahead, because your camera's frozen. I need you to go and just leave the chat, use the same link to get back in, and we'll put you right back on the screen to kind of reset your camera.
Okay.
Awesome. He'll be back in just a minute. So, AEW Full Gear. I think they've done a really good job at building this one. I do think Full Gear is going to be like their redemption to All Out. I'm not happy about seeing Sammy and Matt going again, and I understand that. I understand you can't judge one match based off of an injury that happened or a dumb call that happened, especially one that didn't involve, Sammy didn't make that call. But when I look at this Sammy and Matt rivalry, injuries have been a big thing throughout this entire rivalry. Injuries, mishaps. I know Sammy's still learning. Matt's kind of taking this mentor role, but I'm not excited for this match as I want to be. So now that DJ's back, let's go ahead and get into the Full Gear card.
Yeah.
The first match I want to talk about is we have the NWA Women's Championship being defended. We have Serena versus Allison Kay. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm an avid NWA fan. Allison Kay was the women's champion that Thunder Rosa defeated. So there's been one champion in between these two ladies, and I think this is going to be Allison Kay's road back to the NWA Championship. I'm a huge Allison Kay fan. I loved her in TNA. I love her in NWA. I think this match is going to open a lot of eyes to the talent that NWA has. What do you guys think about this match going forward, and what do you expect from this match?
With being
Serena all the way for me.
Yeah. It has to be Serena. I think it's it has to be Serena. It just has to be the way that the story would line up.
I hear what you're saying, but I think you're pronouncing Sienna wrong. Sienna was Allison Kay's name, so I think you mean Allison Kay. Yeah, and Serena can go back to whatever hole she came out of. But I got to go with Allison Kay on this one. Sandy, what are your thoughts?
I'm going with Allison Kay too. What you said makes much more sense, just because of the fact that it was kind of weird. I thought they took the title off Thunder Rosa to begin with, and so this kind of puts a full circle to that, because I think NWA is supposed to be coming back in the next year at least, is what they want. So this is a great way to keep them alive.
I just feel like the current champion, Serena, the current champion, I feel like she's a transitional champion. Thunder Rosa just signed with WWE. They had to get the belt off of her. I think Serena was in the right place, right time kind of thing. So they went ahead and put the belt on her. But I think she's going to be a transitional champion to get that belt back to Allison Kay, because Allison Kay was doing amazing things with that title when NWA Power was still on week to week. She was having amazing feuds with Melina, obviously Thunder Rosa, and all the women over there, and she's really taken like this mentor role. I think she's exactly what you want in a women's champion and a leader of the women's locker room. I honestly feel like Serena's a transitional champion at this point, and they're trying to get that belt back to Allison Kay.
Yeah, definitely. It lines up with the storyline that they had when Power ended and they were supposed to go into the Crockett Cup. Then Camille, spiked her, so I think it's perfect setup to restart it. I know they were doing something with the United Wrestling Network
That's another girl I'd really like to see make her way over to AEW. You know, we've seen AEW kind of feature NWA talent. I think Camille is a blue chip player for any female locker room. If you guys don't know who Camille is, she is the valet for the real world champ Nick Aldis. She's the girl that doesn't talk. She's also married to Bram. I can't think of the name he uses now, but he's one half the Wild Cards. Yeah. And I think she's got the size, she's got the skill, she's got the ability. I think Camille is going to be a blue chip player for any company that she finds herself in. Before we move on to the next match, are there anything you guys want to say about this one?
You're entitled to your wrong opinion, so we're good.
Oh.
Susie, I get this enough from Sandy and Hugs. So let's stick with the women's division. We have a AEW Women's Championship match. We have Hikaru Shida facing Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's Champion, and if Nyla Rose wins, she will be the first two-time champion of any championship in AEW. Sandy, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts going into this match, and who's your pick?
It's hard to go against Nyla Rose right now because she's been coming out and squashing everybody, but so is Hikaru Shida. I feel like they're gonna have another great match, like they had. I forget, was it Revolution last year or this past year?
I believe it was Revolution.
Yeah, and when Hikaru got the title off of her, and now that she has Vicky Guerrero on her back, like I think it's gonna be something that gives Nyla Rose that bigger edge. And speaking of things that does irk Kevin, I know that answer did. So. We're going to have another two-time champion in AEW.
DJ, what are your thoughts?
Finally, we'll have chemistry once again in the matches. I think that's what they've been lacking with the women's matches in AEW. That's what I've been preaching on our podcast over and over. I think way back when Nyla was still going for that title the first time, they should have gave it to her because of the heat factor. I'm going to have to agree. Nyla's going to have to sit there and take this belt.
I stuck my foot in my mouth. Cody is a two-time TNT champion. She will be the first two-time women's champion. So I kind of got ahead of myself, stuck my foot in my mouth. LeBron fan 23, thanks for keeping me honest, and thanks for watching the show. Susie, your thoughts on the women's title?
I agree with DJ about the chemistry and everything that's been going on. Again, you know what I've been seeing posts, trying to keep up the best I can. But I definitely want Nyla Rose to take this one. 100%.
I agree with what DJ said. I think they've been lacking chemistry in their matches. And chemistry goes a long way to telling a story, getting you invested, and really hooking you into the storyline, allowing you to get invested into this story that they're trying to tell. I think Penelope Ford did an amazing job when she faced Shida. And that's the match I'm really going to go back to, is the Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford. I think if that version of Shida shows up, Shida all the way. But I honestly think the win over Nyla Rose will really stake her as a... And I know she beat Nyla Rose to get the title, but you can call it a fluke win. You can call it whatever you want. I think if she really wants to establish herself and really make this title mean something, she's got to beat Nyla Rose again. She has to do it again.
Yeah.
Just to prove that it wasn't a fluke, that it wasn't, beginner's luck, whatever you want to call it. So my pick is Hikaru Shida, and I think that she has to win to really establish that title for what they want it to be. But yes, Andy, we do disagree on this match. So going into the third match, and these are in no particular order. I'm not sure what order these matches are going to be in, so we're just going to go in whatever order I decide to go in. So we're going to go with this one.
Johnny Hungy!
We have Orange Cassidy versus John Silver of the Dark Order. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's start with Susie. Susie, what do you expect out of this match?
I don't know what to expect, really. All I can really say is I want to see Orange Cassidy take the win.
Of course you do. I thought we were gonna be friends.
Hey, the Rock video made us friends, okay?
The Rock video did make us friends.
But I'm really leaning towards Cassidy on this one. I'm sorry.
So, Sandy, what do you got? I should not have asked.
Yeah, this is the easiest match to pick on the card. I mean, Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho, one of the best of all times. Like,
and he's done nothing since.
He doesn't have to. He just beat the kid. Why would you need to do anything else? He's at 33.5% effort ratio. We're still working his way up.
33.5. You have that down to a science?
Yes.
Can you show your math on that?
Yeah.
Can you show me the equation you used?
We have to go based on the movement per ligament per muscle ratio. Whenever he lifts a certain arm in a certain way, but then it counterbalances because then something else will relapse. And so there is a whole science behind it. I have it worked down. He's working his way up. You can go back and listen to all the other podcasts I've been on, and I will have it down.
I like how you just went into a non-existing formula there. But DJ, what are your thoughts for the match? I'm pretty sure all of us are going to agree, even though I don't want to.
Well, okay, so I can see why people think that or want Orange to win because of...
Stop it, Kiefer. You stop it right now.
But I would have to say that there's going to be some Dark Order hijinks, and I think Johnny's going to win the match. The way that it would line up would keep pushing this feud with the Dark Order. I would see Johnny Hungee winning the match.
You know, I do see a lot of interference coming with this card, but this match isn't one of them. I think that if the Dark Order does try to get involved, we're going to see the Best Friends. I don't believe they have a match on the card, so I do think they'll be there in some aspect and being there to kind of cancel out the Dark Order. I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy just because, aside from Brody Lee and possibly Evil Uno, the members of the Dark Order have basically been the job squad.
Yeah.
But it hurts me to say that because of how talented we know John Silver really is. Yeah. And I hate to see John Silver take a loss to Orange Cassidy. And this is one of the few times you're ever going to hear me say it, so I'm sure somebody's going to clip it and it's going to be up on TikTok before this episode's over. But I pick Orange Cassidy to win this match clean.
Oh, sorry, Kevin, my mic went out. Can you say that again?
Yeah, well, my mic picked it up, and that's all that matters. Moving on.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised.
I expected more out of the Dark Order. I expected them to be this dominant faction that comes in and just runs roughshod, and really only thing we've gotten was we got a... yes, thank you, Smith. That's who I was thinking. I was thinking of Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, and Brody Lee. Everybody else has really been a job squad. But really the only thing we've got from the Dark Order since Brody Lee's come in, we had a TNT Championship claim. Good for him. Lost it 5 weeks later back to Cody. But aside from that, the only thing we got were them pushing some lawnmowers onto the stage to get a cheap sponsorship plug. What was that about? Why? Lawnmowers of all things. Maybe DJ can get a barbecue sponsor and have DJ Barbecue put on Brody Lee's ass or something.
Right? I didn't.
Either Susie's frozen or she looks really disappointed. Oh, there she is. So, I am going to go with Orange Cassidy in this match. They're really putting a lot behind him. Yeah, and with Dark Order kind of being the job squad, I don't see how you could vote against Orange Cassidy in this match.
I will say, though, going off what DJ was saying, too, I could easily see this being a match where John Silver kind of has a turning point because he's been put on the job squad. And we see a lot more of him on TV. However, it's very unlikely. I can see it happening, but I don't believe it happening.
Yeah, I can't get behind it as much as I want Silver to win because I know he's super talented. The dude is jacked. I mean, he's small, but he's jacked. He's got all the talent in the world. I think he'd be a great singles competitor. I think him and Pac would have a phenomenal match against each other. The way their size and their agility meets each other. I think that'd be a great match, but I just think he's going to job out to Orange Cassidy in under 10 minutes. So moving on to our next match, we have the Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara, the Elite Deletion match. Quick question, does anybody know if this is going to be a cinematic match or a live match? Okay, so it is going to be cinematic. I wasn't sure if it was going to be cinematic with the crowds coming back or crowds at some capacity. But I would expect this to be kind of like what they did in TNA, the final deletion.
I think it's going to be more like the Stadium Stampede.
Okay.
I think it's going to be filmed. I think it's still going to be at Daly's place. It's just going to be a different, because I don't think they're going to the Hardy compound. They don't think they can, or they can get the rights to it.
So let's open this up a little bit, and while we hit on this match, let's hit on cinematic matches in general. I've kind of got Sandy's opinion of it over the last couple shows we've done, but I'd really like to know what Susie and DJ think of these kind of cinematic matches. And then after that, give us your thoughts on this particular match. Let's start with Susie, and then go to DJ when she's done.
I honestly don't know what to say about it because I don't know much. So.
Okay, let's go back to the Boneyard and the Firefly Funhouse style matches, just cinematic matches in general.
Oh, okay. I mean, it all depends on the performers. Like, if they can put on that good show and, make us entertained, that's all I really care for, instead of, like, it not grabbing my attention. But I'm all for it if it's good.
Absolutely. And GHC, you can get this exact hoodie at storefrontier.com/Wrestling Review Society. They're available in shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, all that good stuff. And tonight, somebody is going to win a free one. They're actually going to win 2 free hoodies, 2 free shirts, 2 free belts, and a care pack from A-Rock Designs. So if you're one of the first 1,000 subscribers of the new YouTube channel, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be announcing the winner momentarily. And if you were not one of the first 1,000, we're having another giveaway at 1,500. So if you're not subscribed, if you missed out, go ahead and subscribe now. DJ, your thoughts on cinematic matches and this match in general?
Okay, so when we knew something was going to happen with The Undertaker and AJ, and then it comes out to the cinematic, which was done phenomenally, no pun intended. The thing that I was afraid of, and I know my co-host is afraid of, is that they're going to do this way too many times because they've had to periodically doing certain style of matches and then they overdo it. What I'm afraid of is that it's going to be lost in translation with a lot of the other cinematic ones that we've seen over and over in pay-per-views, but at least they have Hardy doing there to direct it. So I'm having positive thoughts, at least, for this cinematic one.
Me and Sandy have kind of agreed on this. I think the cinematic matches can be useful, and I think it could add a few years onto a career. I mean, if we go the cinematic route, we could get that Taker versus Sting match that we've wanted for so long. I think when done right, they can be very effective. We have a really good cinematic match in the Boneyard match, AJ versus Taker. We have 2 really bad ones, in my opinion, with the Firefly Funhouse and the Swamp Fight. Now, the Firefly Funhouse was decent as a motion picture, in my opinion. If you look at it as a motion picture, I think it was great. As a wrestling match, I can't stand it. So I do think there is a place for cinematic matches, and especially with, I know we're kind of talking about AEW, but getting on the WWE train, Vince loves the entertainment aspect of pro wrestling, and I think he's really sinking his teeth into these cinematic matches. We've seen way more in WWE than we have AEW. Maybe that's due to the overabundance of pay-per-views we've had with WWE, to where AEW is once every 2 months, maybe once every 3 months. I will say that I like the fact that this is cinematic because I think it reduces the risk of injury. It doesn't completely take it away, but I don't think we're going to have these 2 performers in a position like they were in with All Out in the Broken Rules match. So I think if these 2 were going to go up against each other, it would have to be a cinematic match, just because I don't really have that faith in Sammy Guevara like I once did. I'm just really hoping that they capture what this match is meant to be about, and not just get lazy because it's cinematic. Yeah. Sandy, what are your thoughts on this match?
Well, quick update first. I did look up real quick. It is at the Hardy compound. WrestlingInc.com's reporting or tweeted out. Matt Hardy confirmed it.
Look at Sandy with the facts. Aside from his bullshit Orange Cassidy analogy.
Hey, it's going to be truthful, though. And going back to it, I love the fact that Matt Hardy and Sammy are kind of still working it out even after all that. Like, it shows that Matt Hardy kind of has faith in the kid. And Sammy does have some stuff he needs to work out, but I think this will give him a chance to get over that. Like, I love all the other deletion matches that Hardy's had put over in TNA with his brother and with his brother, and Bray Wyatt in the first one with WWE. And I love that WWE was able to make it more of a fight style matches when they were doing cinematic with like the Johnny Gargano and Ciampa, and then the Velveteen Dream, who needs to be fired, and Adam Cole match. Like those.
Couldn't agree more.
They could work it out. And even we saw in AEW, the last good one I saw was the parking lot brawl with the Best Friends and Tito or Santana.
I really enjoyed that one.
That one was epic, and I hope if they can do any part of that in the Elite Deletion, we're gonna get some great match quality right there. And I love the fact that it's pre-filmed, like you said. We're gonna be able to at least mark out the spots so Matt doesn't crack his head.
I do think that the not even just cinematic matches, but the pre-recorded matches, whether they be cinematic or just pre-recorded, I think AEW has done a much better job than WWE, and that's saying a lot considering the resources that WWE has versus what AEW has to work with. AEW's really embraced the fact that less is more when it comes to these kind of things, and keep it simple, stupid, and I think that's what they've done. And it really shows. They haven't tried to over-convolute it, get too many, the old saying is there's too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You don't have so many people trying to put their opinion in to where the good ideas get watered down. So I think AEW do a good job at producing this match. And like I said, if these two are going to go at it with each other, I would much prefer the cinematic pre-recorded to just reduce the level of injury. I understand they're both world-class athletes, but the number of times one of these two have been injured by the other one is astronomical.
I do hope there's a moment there, though, with Reby and Sammy, though, because she, railed into him after that match, so...
Yeah, and just one more thing before we go off to the next match. In the Stadium Stampede, one thing that I really liked is every time Matt got dunked under the water, he came up as a different version of himself. I thought that was really cool. Kind of made me pop a little bit. So before we get into some of the, I guess this is the bigger matches of the night. This is one that I think everybody kind of has a very vested interest in. We have MJF versus Chris Jericho. If MJF wins, he will be a member of the Inner Circle. And if by any random act of God he sees this, I apologize. That is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He has not given me the right to call him MJF. I think MJF takes the win. Susie, what do you think?
I always gotta go Chris Jericho. I mean, he's always been my favorite, always has, and seeing him in the beginning of AEW, he's always been my guy.
DJ?
Okay, so my son had a
I'm saving Sandy because I can see him licking his lips for this one.
My son had a little Twitter beef with MJF. And
shocker.
So, shocker, right? But I'm going to keep going with what I've said a long time ago on consistent Twitter accounts and all that. I think this is the end off is that they kick Jericho out of the Inner Circle. Because with what I remember is he's supposed to have some concerts, so I'm going to take MJF on this one.
All right, Sandy, let's hear it.
It has to be. There's only way you put a stipulation on a match only if it means something. Like, what is the benefit if MJF loses this match? There is no benefit. It has to get put in. Going off of what DJ was saying with the Fozzy concerts, Jericho's going to need some time off at least if not going to be on all the time. I don't see him getting kicked out of the Inner Circle. That would be way much of a heel turn and not needed at this point because Jericho went heel on Twitter. So. It's all about getting Maxwell into this spot now. I can see him picking it out piece by piece, though. I want to see it just take out he's going to be like the Kevin Owens of the Festival of Friendship, and we're going to get another one of those feuds come in. I love the musical that they did. They're going to have to keep doing more of that. And they can do that now. If Jericho has to go away, you can pre-film a few of those. He can go off. That could be the segment. MJF already says he's a prize attraction anyway, so he doesn't need to be shown on every week. And so, I think MJF has to win, though. It has to be.
I think this match is going to be somewhat of a rite of passage for MJF.
Yes.
You have one of the biggest heels of yesteryear going against the best heel in the business today, Chris Jericho versus MJF. I think this is going to challenge MJF in a way he hasn't been challenged before, just because he hasn't gone against somebody the caliber of Chris Jericho. Now, he has faced really amazing talent, and I'm only speaking of his time in AEW. I think this match with Jericho is, like I said, his coming of age, his rite of passage. It's really going to bring him into his character. When I look at this match, and before I get into that, I do have to agree with Sandy. I'm a traditional wrestling fan. I really don't like a lot of the skits or vignettes, but that musical at the steakhouse was friggin' phenomenal. I laughed the entire time. I was actually watching it on King Heel Josh's Twitch feed. By the way, you can catch King Heel Josh on Twitch every night that wrestling is available at twitch.tv/Heel Josh. Josh, if you put that in the comments, I'll make sure I post it up. Very phenomenal stuff. It's kind of how I've been watching my wrestling lately. But when I look at this, I almost get the feeling of when Cody joined Bullet Club and Cody and Kenny had an argument of who the leader was. I see Jericho leaving to do his Fozzy stuff. I see him leaving to go on tour. And that's when MJF slithers his way in there, starts to cause that doubt, starts to cause that friction, going back and forth. And I think we might just be getting something along the lines of Cody and Kenny when they had, the Bullet Club, who the real leader was. One was saying it was Cody, one was saying it was Kenny. I think that's what we're going to get with this, and I'm really looking forward to see. I think by doing this with Jericho, being so close to Jericho, facing Jericho, being right there with him, I think it's really going to up his game as a heel as far as MJF goes, which is kind of hard to say because, he's been killing it as a heel. But if there's one person that he can learn from, one person that's going to advance, and one person that's going to help him become better, I think Jericho is that guy. And my pick is MJF, and that is because everything that I just said, but also Jericho's kind of taken this coaching role very seriously, and Jericho's made his money. He's had his wins. He's had his big moments. He is here to get talent over. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to convince me different. He just lost to Orange Cassidy in a gimmick match. Jericho wants to get people over. And I think this is his way of giving the rub to MJF and saying, all right, kid, the ball's in your court. Let's see what you're going to do with it now.
100% agree.
I agree.
I'm sorry, guys. I know I ranted for a little bit there. But now there's one that I really... So before we get to the last... Well, these are 3 title matches. But before we get to the Bucks, before we get to Moxley, we have to address Cody versus Darby. Now, before I open this up for discussion, a few things I want to point out. Darby has lost every match he's ever had to Cody. He's never beaten Cody. I think he comes full circle. I think he gets the win. I do think there will be some interference by Ricky Starks. Some way, somehow, Team Taz is going to interfere. But I think Cody's going to play the babyface role, try to fight off the outside interference, and it's ultimately going to cost him the match. I think Darby gets the win. I think Darby is the new champion. But while you guys are giving your thoughts on this match, I want to ask, do you guys think Sting is going to show up in Darby's corner? Macho fan, let's start with you.
That's one of my biggest...
They've been hitting at it hard.
WWE got rid of all Sting merchandise, didn't clearance it, just got rid of it.
Yep.
They did
Sting helps Darby.
Yep, Sting helps Darby has to be the answer. Like the cutaway is what sold it for me at the end of the episode last night. Is when they pulled out, and then it was just like when WCW, when Sting was at the top of the rafters. We got to see something. I feel like Ricky Starks is going to try to come out, and it's going to be something like Sting's going to be like, Cody's going to help it off. Sting's going to appear in the ring. Scorpion death drop, followed by the coffin drop. Pin him 1, 2, 3. It's going to be the Sting and Darby Allin. Let's go.
My boy James Perry's watching. He actually has one of these bad boys on order through me, and he messaged me as soon as this match was done. He's like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm going to have the belt that Darby Allin has, and I completely agree with him. I think Darby Allin's going to win. I think, in the next 5 years we could see Darby Allin as AEW World Champion, but I do think this is the time he finally gets that long-deserved win over Cody because he has lost every match to Cody. Susie, what are your thoughts on this match?
I definitely think Sting will appear. I mean, I can see this being Darby's comeback out of everything he's done and been through, and given if there is interference, whatever, it's Darby's time to shine.
I think he's been one of the. I can't even say underutilized. He's been on Dark. He's been on Dynamite. He's had these vignettes. I think he's one of the most underappreciated that AEW has, not by the wrestlers, but by the fans. I think the fans really need to start, because we're all guilty of it to some extent. Darby's 5'0". He's 110 pounds soaking wet. The man can go. Let's just be honest. The man can go, and he does a phenomenal job of making bigger men wrestle his style of match. His whole move set. He reminds me of a Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan orchestrated his entire move set to fit his size. When you listen to him talk about facing Brock Lesnar and how he redefined himself and redid his entire move set to go after bigger guys, Darby Allin's done very much the same thing. I really want people to stop sleeping on Darby Allin so much. I don't expect Sting, but I'll be disappointed if he's not there, if that makes any sense at all. DJ, what are your thoughts, bud?
Well, I've been a fan of Darby Allin since I saw the match with him at Evolve with Ethan Page. After that
Another
match,
phenomenal worker.
right? The match after there reminded me of a match that Daniel Bryan had in Ring of Honor, and I can't remember the big guy that he wrestled, but they had a wrestling clinic for that match that they had. And I just think that it's the right time. I wasn't a fan of Cody getting the belt back. I said that on our podcast. But I would actually hope and wish that Darby wins this title. I think it's just the right time to push him, to keep him going, because Cody really doesn't need anything. He really doesn't need a title at this point in his life anyway. And I'm going to agree. I think Sting's going to show up. There's so much stuff that you could do between Sting and Cody's dad, history-wise. And then you could also add it somehow with Brody in the Dark Order or Taz or whatever. But yeah, there's so much opportunity there.
You know, I go back to what I said about the NWA Women's Champion. I agree. I don't think Cody should have won the title back. But is it going to be more believable for Darby to beat Cody, or was it going to be more believable for him to beat Brody Lee? I think Cody is serving the role of transitional champion. It's going to be a lot more believable. We're going to buy into it a lot more. If Darby goes out there and beats Brody Lee clean, it's going to make Brody Lee look like shit, no matter how good Darby is. But he can lose to Cody, and then Cody can lose to Darby. But I don't think Brody Lee can lose to Darby.
Right. There'd be more to lose for Brody to actually lose against Darby than it would be the other way around. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and then further proof that Sting is coming. Tony Khan, aka TK, as we're calling him now.
You're not one of the boys.
Hey, he tweeted out last night, "I guess I know the 50+ demo now." It was to something else, but that was a hint, I think. If you want the 50+ demo,
I think there's been a lot of subliminal. I think Darby's sitting up in the
yeah.
Right.
Not the rafters, but in the upper nosebleeds. I think that's a subliminal message to Sting.
Right.
The face paint. I understand it's not the same face paint, but the black and the white and the sitting up and watching every match and just the fact that WWE's removed all Sting's merch, and I think everything taken into account. I think there's been a lot of subliminal messages to Sting showing up in AEW, and this isn't the first time it's been talked about.
Yeah.
Like, we thought Sting was going to present the TNT title. Mm-hmm. There were rumors of that for a while. So I think this isn't something that happened overnight. I think it's something that has been talked about for quite some time now. I just think this is the payout because Darby Allin, who is probably the most relatable to Sting, is going after a championship. Cody Darby 3, or maybe even 4 at this point. Darby's never won. He's going to have to pull something out that nobody's expecting. And I think that thing he's going to pull out is Sting.
Yeah. One last thing on Cody. He got his last name back. WWE pulled their trademark.
Yeah, they dropped the trademark.
How do we feel about Cody Rhodes and possibly getting AEW title shot? Because Cody can't.
I always thought Cody's way back to the AEW title was the Casino Battle Royal. I don't think the name...
Right there.
I don't think the name really... I don't think the name really does anything, and I see what you're getting at. I wonder if he's even going to use it. I see him patenting it so he can have it, but I don't see him using it. I think he's happy with just using Cody, because his way around it all this time was to be introduced as Cody and Brandy Rhodes. So he's kind of found his way around it. Cody's kind of sticking with the fans. You know, don't fix what ain't broken.
Yeah. It's just nice to see, though. Got your name
Yeah.
back.
So, going into what I think has the potential to be match of the night. And if it's not match of the night, somebody's going to have to work their ass off to be better than this. We have FTR versus the Young Bucks for the tag team titles. And if the Young Bucks don't win, they will never they will never challenge for the AEW tag titles again. I want to start out by saying one thing, and I'm going to turn it over to you guys. I don't like how they're using this I'll never challenge again. Like, come on, guys. You're a year into it. You've already had Cody do it. Now you got the Young Bucks doing it. Stop it. Just stop. I mean, it's great when you are going in this rivalry. Like, if they were on, FTR versus Young Bucks 5, FTR versus Young Bucks 3, and then you put that stipulation in there. I'm done with this. I don't want to face them anymore. Impact just did it with Rahit and TJP. They faced each other a number of times. It makes sense. But for them to be a year into the company, for this to be their first official championship match against each other, I think it's horseshit that they put the stipulation on it. I think they're taking away from what the stipulation is supposed to be. The stipulation is supposed to be special. It's supposed to add a big fight feel to it. But they did it with Cody. They're doing it with the Bucks. I wouldn't be surprised if Omega goes to face Mox and says, I'll never face Ford again. Stop using this shit. Save it for when it means something. Sandy, let's start with you.
The biggest issue I have with it, they're acting like they're a 15-year-old company, like you were saying. Like, it's like you don't have that luxury. Like, the Bucks haven't won the tag team champions, or were they the? No, did they win them once? Or I don't think they. Won
no, they've never won. They lost. Yeah. They lost in the first round of Private Party. They lost to Omega and Page, and I could be wrong, but I think those are the only times they ever had shots for the titles.
So why would you want to destroy their push of ever having a tag title run in their first year? It doesn't seem like it makes sense. It seems like the chance where it's going to be the opposite of what Cody did, and they win it now, and that's why the stipulation pays off, which you didn't need it to begin with.
See, I didn't even have a problem when Cody did it. And I'll tell you what, I have a problem with it now. I didn't have a problem when Cody did it because, Cody being an EVP, everybody jumped on the bandwagon. He's going to write himself into the title shot. He's going to write himself into the title shot. So I think it had sustenance when Cody did it. Like, hey, look, just because I'm the EVP doesn't mean I'm going to hold the belt 37 fucking times. So I wasn't mad at it when Cody did it. But now, if this is a glimpse into the future of what's going to happen, overusing this stipulation, watering it down, and making it mean nothing, I think this is a major step in the wrong direction for AEW.
Mm-hmm.
DJ?
Well, if they were going to use this stipulation, I've always said, why didn't the Young Bucks ever have the titles way before FTR ever came into the company? Now, I only think that they ever put this in there because of the way that they did pretty much
Jameson, the show's always been great.
Killed the hype of this whole match between FTR and the Young Bucks that was building up outside this before they ever were in the same company together. I don't like it. I agree with you guys. I think that the only way that it gets better is if the Young Bucks do lose. I don't see any benefit other than a heel run, but I'm not really that excited for the match anymore because it's kind of lost its steam.
I don't see them losing and never being able to challenge for it. Susie, what are your thoughts on it, and your thoughts on them using the stipulation twice in the first year?
I mean, I hate the stipulation for one. I always had, whether it's, whether it's doing it, once, twice, whatever, but I've never been a fan of it in WWE either, so it just kind of doesn't make me get excited or anything, but I definitely agree with what you guys are saying, and I could see him losing and going for that heel turn, but we'll see.
I go back to what Sandy said, and, them doing the opposite of what Cody did. I don't see them having the Young Bucks. And don't get me wrong, the Young Bucks don't need titles. They don't need them.
They don't.
Private Party needs the titles. Dark Order needs the titles. Best Friends need the titles. I don't think Young Bucks are in that category of people that need the titles, but I don't see them losing and never being able to challenge for it again. Even if they did they win it on Saturday, lose it on Wednesday, which I would hate even more. I don't see them losing, and I kind of think they showed their hand at what they have planned for this match. Even if I want to say FTR has to lose by DQ. Lose by DQ, Bucks win, they don't lose the chance to face, but they still don't win the titles. I think that's the only safe way out of this.
Yeah.
I originally thought when they put a chair around Hardy's or Buck's leg and smashed it, I thought maybe that would be bringing in Private Party, and then have some type of thing that would help the hype in with it. So,
all right. So for just 1 second, I got to do this for my boy Hugs. Susie, I need you to sweet me and say heel club for life. You can't. You've already embarrassed me on my show. You can't do it twice. So sweet me, heel club for life, and we'll move on. Come on now. Come on.
Heel club
for life. There we go. Hugs, there we go. We got it. All right, now bringing back these two yahoos.
There you go.
All right, clean slate. Susie and I are cool again. Moving on. Before we move on, anything else about this match you guys want to address?
I like that idea of a DQ in there because you're right. Like Bucks don't need it, but for a fan's sake, the fans of the Bucks want to have they're from California, they're from my neck of the woods. Like I want to see them with the title run eventually.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want them just we're big shots. Like you're saying, makes sense for Cody to do it as a solo, but Hugs and I actually were talking about it today. You can't really split up the Bucks right now. Like the only one that can kind of work alone is Matt. Even then, he's the older one. He's injured all the time, so it's not even feasible for doing a long-term run.
And you brought up a really good point. The Bucks don't need the titles. The Buck fans need the titles. The fans of the Young Bucks want to see them hold the titles. But I think it goes. Anytime you see Cody, Kenny, or the Bucks in a title shot, it doesn't matter if it's 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 10 minutes down the road, it doesn't matter. Anytime one of those four jump into a title picture, you're going to have people who say they deserve it, and you're going to have people who say they're only there because they're the EVPs. Motherfucker, it's been over a year and Kenny's lost a majority of his singles matches. Don't hand me that horse shit. It doesn't matter how you skin this cat. The wrestling community is going to be divided in half, and people are going to say they're only getting it because they're EVPs, which I think is horseshit. Speaking about Kenny, it's a great segue into this match. We have the finals of the World Title Eliminator Tournament, Kenny Omega versus Adam Hangman Page. When I saw this bracket, I kind of figured this is what it was going to come down to. I'm really excited for it. I know these two could put on a banger of a match. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a longer match because these two have kind of been in those more 30 to 35 minute matches. I think they're going to be given a lot of time. I just hope that they work it the right way and keep me interested because I'll be honest with you, the Kenny and Page versus FTR, as good as that match was, I got bored really fast. And I know that's kind of asinine to say when you have those four guys in the ring and I'm telling you I got bored. I really did. I kind of got bored with it. But I think Kenny's going to go over in this match, and I think Kenny's the one to go on to dethrone Mox. Kind of have that full circle because he lost to Mox, he lost to Mox in the unsanctioned match. I think this is his redemption. My biggest argument when AEW first started was I didn't see long-term booking for Kenny. Now that we are a year removed, I kind of see, they put him in all these bullshit storylines. They put him in this tag run so the world title picture didn't get over clustered with the same people. So now that I'm looking back at it and I see where they're going with it, I like how they booked Kenny, but I do think Kenny goes over in this match. DJ, what do you think?
I'm going to go with what I've said in the past. Every puzzle piece of Hangman's situation has lined up. Hangman gets put over. He wins the match. He goes in and challenges for the heavyweight championship because if it's his downfall, long story, term writing, and that's when he wins, which then I have to go with my next prediction, but I'll say that when we talk about that match. But I'm going to say Hangman goes in for the win on this one.
It just... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Susie.
Well, I know you're gonna dive deep into this one, so I want to give you time to talk.
Sorry, I cut in and out.
Who do you got for Kenny and Hangman?
Oh, Omega all the way. 100%. I mean, he's going to deliver and go on and beat Moxley. I mean, as much as I love Moxley, but...
So you think Kenny's the next AEW champ?
I do.
I have to agree. I 100% have to agree. I think you have a lot of people in AEW that you can build this company around for the next 5 to 10 years, being Cody, Kenny, MJF, Darby Allin, guys like that. And to see how he was booked in the first part of AEW's short existence, I think this is the time where they really show you that Kenny, the Kenny that showed up for Kenny versus Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom 14. That's the Kenny I want to show up for this match. Sandy, go ahead, bud.
All right, so we're got a theme of tonight, and that's
We're starting that hashtag tonight. We're starting that hashtag tonight.
RSTT fam, I love it. And so I just love the fact that this storyline has took over. This is one of the first storylines that they've had, is between Kenny Omega and Hangman being in the elite breakup, or Hangman leaving the elite, and then this Kenny Omega with the heel turn. The reason I'm putting Kenny Omega over in this match is because of the cleaner gimmick now he's brought out. He's been doing the braggadocious entrances. It just makes sense. However, Hangman's match with Wardlow was epic. So like, it gives you that feeling, like what DJ was saying, like they're giving Hangman those pushes, but I feel like now they've done enough for Hangman. They've given him that initial push.
In the words of JR, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
This might be a 5-star match.
I don't see how it can't be. You have all the makings for it. One thing I want to talk about before we move on, a few months ago we saw Hangman Page get kicked out of the Elite because of the things he was doing with FTR when he was tag champ. And this past Wednesday on Dynamite, FTR was about to injure Matt from the Bucks and force Nick to watch. And who came out to save the day? It wasn't Kenny. Kenny came eventually, but who came out to save the day? Adam Hangman Page, followed by Kenny Omega. Do you guys think we're seeing the realliance of the Elite?
Well, the Bucks kind of are going back and forth on heel turns too, so I just think this is just an angle because they want to keep FTR as the main heels.
But see, that's the thing. Everybody's been talking about, the formation of the next Horseman. What if the next Horseman is just a heel Elite?
I guess I could see that more so, but I don't. With Tully and Arn, yeah, I guess I could see it, but I mean, I can see with Tully and Arn. I still think it's gonna be FTR and Cody or someone like that with Shawn Spears.
Yeah, and I think they definitely have the potential talent to make the second coming of the horse. And I hate to use that verbiage, the reformation or the second coming, because as cliche as this has become, I don't ever think you should be the next anybody. You should be the first you. I know that's become such a cliche thing to say, but I do think they have the talent to make a 4-man group with a manager, so a 5-man group that can rival the things that the Horsemen did. But I'm kind of leaning towards, a heel Elite. They can't use the Bullet Club title, but, making that heel Elite, the heel Elite tagline, I could really get behind that. I've really got behind just, you never know who the Bucks are going to go super kick. You never know who's in their radar. You never know who's in their crosshairs. And it's really kept us on our toes these last couple episodes of Dynamite. And I'm really digging it. And I absolutely love when they walk through Gorilla and they looked at TK, as the boys are calling him now. And they're like, oh, you want to find us? And they just slap him with $100,000 or $10,000 or whatever the case it may be. I really like this heel turn between them. But, Cody came out and said, just because I dyed my hair black doesn't mean I'm going to the dark side. So who knows if he's in that group, the heel part. But I could definitely see, a heel Kenny Omega at the helm with the AEW title. And then you have heel Bucks and Adam Hangman Page doing that realliance. And there I go rambling again. Susie's just sitting there like, does he ever shut up?
I mean, it's helping me, okay? Because, like I said, I haven't been, much involved with AEW like you guys, and so it helps me, and get to know more and see different sides of things too. So it helps me.
Well, I'm glad I can help somebody some way because I don't help a lot of people. Like I said, I'm not the smartest person in the world. And I swear to God, nobody better clip that. But, so, guys, let's talk about a match that has become so real, that has become so personal, that has really split the rest. This is one of the only times in AEW where I'm like, I don't know who's going to win. I don't feel comfortable picking one over the other. And I kind of feel like with the angle they're playing, it kind of rivals the Roman and Jey Uso storyline because these two are like family. They've known each other 15 plus years. We've heard him say, I've ate at your table. I've said grace with your mother. And of course, everybody knows I'm talking about the AEW World Championship match, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. And I really want to drive this fact home. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an I quit match. You must make your opponent say, I quit. And when I think of all the people in wrestling today that I could not picture saying, I quit, these two shoot to the top of that list. So, to make myself not look stupid, I'm going to let somebody else start. Let's go with DJ. What do you think for this I Quit match, Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley, AEW World Title?
Okay, so a lot of people might be a little bit shocked to hear this, but Eddie goes a long way back in history with my co-host, the co-owner of our podcast. He's like family. He's known him a long time. We've had him on the show.
Dude, you rub elbows with everybody.
I trust me, it's a long story. You guys would get a laugh out, but you don't have time for that long story about how I got to talk to him. But I see from what I understand and kind of tidbits on the back scene, I'm pretty sure Eddie's going to come out on top on this one. It just seems like the right time. Yes, he is the real deal. Everything is real life with him, and I would have to say the way he cuts promos is just like a Brian Pillman would do on the Monday Night Raw with the gun routine. He will scare you to death, and he will question whether, is pro wrestling real now or not? Kind of like that concept. But it's gonna be an all-out brawl. If anybody misses it, they're gonna miss out. I mean, obviously, you're gonna try to go and pay for it for the reruns or whatever. But the opportunity, the passion, the storytelling that's gonna be in there, it's gonna be raw, real. It's gonna be uncut, and they're going to probably blow the house down.
So let me ask you this before we move on to somebody else. This last episode of Dynamite was the go-home episode for Full Gear. We had somebody make the return. It was through a promo, through a vignette, but we saw the return of Pac on AEW Dynamite. And he kind of had this little vignette. And did anybody pay attention to the promo that was playing in the background as if it was playing in his head? It was the promo by Eddie Kingston where he said, "Where's your little British friend at?" And then he went into how he was in isolation for 7 months, how he's been left alone with his own thoughts, and that promo just kept playing over and over and over. And I've hinted at, I think there will be some matches that have run-ins, that have sketchy finishes or dusty finishes. Do you see Pac at all getting involved in this match or even appearing in some fashion? And if so, what fashion do you think that'll be?
I don't think so. I think it's too early. I think a lot of people didn't notice what you just put out there, and it wasn't obvious enough for them.
I'm sure Sandy noticed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys noticed it, but I'm just saying, to connect the dots. I think it's a good way to start teasing things, and then just all
because for the people who don't know, Eddie Kingston's faction right now involves the Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade. Before that happened, Death Triangle was the Lucha Brothers and Pac, and that was kind of the segue into where's your little British friend at. So I've got an opinion. I'll save mine for last. Let's go to Susie.
I mean, I still wish that I can give as much detail and be so thorough with everything. But given Moxley's history, everything about him, I cannot see him saying the words "I quit." I don't see that from him. I can't. And again, I would just love to see him go on to face Omega.
Sandy.
All right. Well, the words of the night have been transitional champions. As much as I hate to say it, but love to see it, I think Eddie Kingston's going to go over and win, but he's going to be a transitional champion. He's going to be the one that's going to lose it to Omega. But I do believe, like you were saying, like what the Pac promos came when the way they used it, like the visuals they use of everything too, the way I love.
Yes, Allison, Pac and Neville are the same person.
Yes. And I feel like they're going to have like the interim feud between Kingston and so Kingston's going to have one successful title defense versus Pac, which I don't know if that's going to ruin Pac or anything, or Pac if we're calling him that.
I am going to block you.
And then Orange Cassidy's going to beat Omega for the World Championship match after.
And that's what happens when you say stupid shit on my show.
But for real though, I think Eddie Kingston. This is the perfect time for Eddie Kingston to go over right now. Those promos are making like fans like he's bringing in new fans, and that's the biggest problem I have with AEW is they're not bringing in anybody new. Eddie Kingston is bringing in new fans. Give him a month or two as champion. Kenny Omega's not going to redeem his championship till Revolution, which is in January, so you can give him a good 2-month run. It's not going to be. Kingston's going to hold that belt 3 or 4 times at this rate. So give him a longer reign on the second time. But he needs it right now. Like, as much as I love Moxley's character and what he's done he's had it for a year now. It's good. Like, you got your reign. You'll hold it a couple more times yourself. But, this is the time. I don't see either of these guys saying I quit, though, which is my biggest issue. I feel like this is going to be one where they both just pass out holding on to each other's throats.
So, like I said in the beginning, when I think of people in the world of pro wrestling that I would never imagine say I quit, these two are at the top of that list, and for good reason. We've seen the things they both have done. We've seen the character that Eddie Kingston portrays. And we've seen, the ruthless aggression, I can't believe I did that plug there talking about AEW, but the ruthlessness of Mox. My mind immediately went to Renee Young. Now, I know I'm way off in left field, and I know we kind of just had this happen with WWE, but I see Renee Young being in the crowd, and her kind of being the target of an attack or something, and John saying I quit to protect his wife. I could buy that. I could see them both passing out, holding each other's throats. I could buy that as well. I don't know how this match is going to end, but I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I do think this is one of those situations where there's a lot of ways it can go wrong and very few it can go right, and I hope they hit it on the head. I do see Pac coming back, though, but what I see happening is if Eddie Kingston wins, I see Pac and him having a stare down. He holds the title up in the ring. Pac is at the top of the entrance ramp, and they're kind of locking eyes. Because Pac was, if not the number 1 ranked, I think he was in the top 3 when he left. He was number 1?
He was number 1.
So I could see him being catapulted back into that main event picture. So if Kingston wins, I kind of see that happening. I'm not trying to save face. I'm not trying to not look stupid when the results come out. I just honestly can't see either one of them saying I quit. I truly can't. I can normally kind of sway one way or the other, but this is one of those matches, and it's one of those matches that happens, once every few years where you look at it and you're like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen. Like, they just had the I Quit match with Roman and Jay. We all knew Jay was going to say I quit some way or another. We knew there was going to be some kind of sketchy finish. I think they did it great by involving his brother. Still made him look strong. But I can't see this match. I can't see either one of them saying I quit without some kind of sketchy finish. And when I look at what WWE just did, I think of, well, what if Renee's there? What if, it's a no DQ? So what if the Lucha Brothers come out? What if Butcher and the Blade come out? 2 teams that are not on this card. What if they come out and they're holding Mox, or they got Mox down, and Eddie Kingston, who, let's be honest, this isn't going to be out of character for him if he does it, goes and snatches Renee Young by the hair. And this is all speculation. I don't even know if she's going to be there. This is just where my mind automatically went. There's got to be some kind of outside factor that we can't see right now play into this match for one of those 2 to say I quit, because they're not going to do it on their own.
I really like that Renee Young that aspect you brought in. I just have a little tidbit. AEW Games, their new gaming channel site, They added Renee Paquette to and they're following them, and she's added in their game tag. And so it would make sense though if she comes.
And see, I didn't even know that.
Or not Fox Sports, but
what if she's there promoting the channel? What if she's there promoting the gaming channel? And you know, she's not even ringside. She's just backstage, and they're having it out in the ring. And next thing you know, Butcher and the Blade have her by her arms, walking her out to the ring. Her head's dangling. She's playing unconscious, whatever the case may be. There's got to be something on the outside, something that comes into this that we don't know about, and something really take on a life of its own, because like I said, guys, I'm at a loss for words with this one. I can't pick heads or tails of it either way.
It's gonna make everybody say holy shit.
My only issue is what's gonna happen to Mox after this.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be Omega or Page, and then Pox in the interim, if that's what we're all thinking. But like Mox is just, where's he gonna disappear to? Him and Darby Allin as a tag team?
I think there's no way for this. There's no shortage of ways they can take this. There's no shortage of areas that this can go. I'm just really excited to see where they go from here. Building into their next pay-per-view, building into, you know, All Out again coming up. And I know that's a little ways down the road, but let's be honest, guys, days in wrestling world just fly by. I mean, it seems like every two months we're having another WrestleMania. It goes by that quick. So I could see them start building for something, you know, to go over in there. I could even see Kenny waiting until All Out, you know, their biggest pay-per-view, to cash in his title shot. Who knows? I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this match, and I have a lot of what-ifs that come with this match. But, guys, that has been the breakdown for AEW Full Gear. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think this is potentially going to be one of their best cards they've done. I'm really looking forward to it. Guys, your final thoughts on Full Gear before we announce the winner of our 1,000 member giveaway.
I 100% agree. Yeah, it's going to be epic. I'm going to give what Susie said. Like, yeah, this is going to be their WrestleMania show for the year, I feel like. I know it's not their WrestleMania, but they're at that point now where their characters are fully developed in some cases, so we can kind of see a true pay-per-view of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just fanning.
And if you guys are not able to watch AEW Full Gear for any reason, here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to go on Twitch. Go follow King Heel Josh. He is going to be streaming it. You won't be able to see it because copyright, but you will be able to hear it. He'll be breaking it down, live reacting. So if you are unable to watch AEW Full Gear for any reason, make sure you go to, I believe it's twitch.tv/HeelJosh, something like that. Josh is in the chat. He'll throw it up eventually, and then I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, that's going to be your best way to watch it if you can't watch it normally. Josh is a great dude, and he's going to provide a really good show that night. I'll probably be watching both of them as it goes on. But with that being said, guys, you have hung out for an hour and 13 minutes, and all of you are here for the one reason that we haven't got to just yet. Guys, all of you know I started a new YouTube channel, Wrestling Review Society, and I've been asking all of you to join, and you guys have come out in droves and really helped me hit my goal of 1,000. Guys like Sandy, women like Susie duetting the videos, getting the word out for me, Heel Hugs, King Heel Josh, everybody who helped me get here. This was not done on my own. I am a firm believer that there's no such thing as a self-made man. You have help from everybody, and I damn sure had help from so many people. So for those of you on the screen, those of you in the chat, those of you listening wherever you're watching, thank you so much for helping me get here. But Susie is about to announce the winner of the 1,000 member giveaway. Just before she does, I want to let you know that the winner will be receiving two championship belts. The TNT Championship and the Immortal Championship on a purple strap, the one Jeff Hardy had in TNA. You will also receive a care pack from A-Rock Designs, being one of her custom tumblers, completely customizable to whatever you want, a set of coasters, a pop socket, and whatever else she decides to throw in there. You will also be receiving 2 shirts from our storefront tier shop, go to storefrontier.com, search Wrestling Review Society, and you'll be able to choose from any of those designs. You'll also be receiving 2 hoodies, so 4 articles of clothing altogether. 2 shirts, 2 hoodies, whatever you want. And this is for the first 1,000 people that subscribed to the new YouTube channel. The next giveaway will happen at 1,500 members moving forward. We will have a giveaway at 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, and 3,000. At 3,000, the giveaways will be for every 1,000, so 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, so on and so forth. That's how the giveaways are going to work moving forward. So if you missed out on this one, there is no shortage of giveaways coming in the future. Make sure you subscribe, tell all your friends. Anybody who likes wrestling content, it's all wrestling all the time, no matter what. That's all we're here to talk about is wrestling. So if anybody likes wrestling content, make sure you share it with them. Help us hit that 1,500 member goal so we can have another giveaway. With that being said, Susie, the floor is yours. Let me do this right here.
I am so happy to announce the winner of the giveaway, and really, happy to help Kevin out and do everything. So I would like to announce Bills Nation 86 is the winner. Congrats.
Bills Nation 86. First off, you picked a really shitty football team. Let's just go and get that out of the way. But you are the winner of the giveaway. Here's how it's going to work. You have 24 hours. I will go to the YouTube channel, try to get an email address off of it, and send it to you. You have 24 hours to send me your shipping information, to tell me the 2 shirts you want, tell me the 2 hoodies you want. I need sizes and colors. You send me that information within 24 hours, and you have claimed your prize. At 9:15 tomorrow, if I have not heard from you, we'll come on here and draw a new winner. You only have 24 hours to respond. It's how I have to do this to keep it fair. So, Bills Nation 86, congratulations. Thank you for following. Your 24 hours starts now. Good luck. And everybody else in the upcoming giveaways, like I said, if you missed out on this one, there's no shortage of giveaways coming in the future. With that being said, guys, this has wrapped up the episode of The War Room. We will be back Thursday at 7 with another amazing episode, breaking down wrestling, talking to some of your favorite wrestlers, and a whole bunch of other cool content. Before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen on the screen with me, please let everybody know where they can find you, follow you, and all that other good stuff. Let's start with Susie, go to Sandy, go to DJ, and then I'll close us out on the night.
So Susie Q, come find me on TikTok. Use my hashtag SusieQ, hashtag WWE TikTok fam, whatever. I do kind of follow back as much as I can. If I don't, I'm sorry. I just can't keep up. But just know if I can, I'll follow you. So TikTok, Susie Q, and I love every single one of you guys.
I mean, a hashtag with 1.87 million views. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep up with all that. But DJ, where can everybody keep up with you? You have a podcast of your own. Please let everybody know about that and where they can find you.
Okay, so like I always say, I'm DJ Barbecue with the Code Eye Radio Network. You can find us on Twitch, or not Twitch, but Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all Code Eye Radio Network with WK capitalized at the end. You can find me on DJ Barbecue on Twitter or TikTok. Thank you for allowing us to have this time to be on here. I appreciate it, man.
No, it's been a great episode. Thank you all for being here. Sandy, you know how this works, man. Take it away.
And I am the Macho Fan. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, the Macho Fan, RHE. We also do TikTok Wrestling Federation. That's TIKTALK, which is our Promo Battle League on TikTok. If you are interested in joining,
Sandy is sus.
Sandy is sus. I did.
Sandy is sus.
And make sure, we do hang out in the Discord, so the NGT Discord. You can find that in my bio on TikTok or any of my social media sites. We're all part of it, and we all love to, love this community and just love to see it grow. So if you love wrestling content, you love talking with wrestling, come join us. Follow Wrestling Review Society on Facebook, and let's just keep growing, guys.
And guys, my name is Kevin. I am your hostess with the mostest. And guys, there's a lot of people out there who are hating on us who can't do what we do. But for every one of you who tune in, watch, and support, it's people like you are the reason we come on here and we do this show each and every single week. I hope that definitely in the near future I have all 3 of you back on together. Separately, it does not matter. This has been a very fun episode. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Review Society on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure it is the right one. If you look up in the corner, if you go to YouTube and you type in Wrestling Review Society, 2 pages are going to pop up. The one that looks like this is the one you're going to want to follow. This is the right one. There's another one that It's not going to help you in any of the giveaways. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting. The comment section has been going nonstop since we've started, and I can't thank you all enough. Special shout outs to Piers Austin, King Heel Josh, Heel Hugs. The list goes on and on. My good buddy James Perry. And like I said, I really can't name everybody. I'll be here all night. But with that being said, guys, hit that like button on the YouTube page, and we will see you Thursday at 7 with another amazing episode of The War Room. I'm not sure if it'll be an interview or just another episode of us hanging out talking wrestling, but either way, you're not going to want to miss it. The next giveaway is at 1500 on the YouTube channel, so go ahead and subscribe and don't miss out.